Welcome to the Catalyst Way, where we have conversations around unleashing the power of purpose and meaning to fuel transformative change in yourself and for others. Welcome to episode 22. And we decided we're going to do this a little bit differently. So, for the next couple of episodes, we're going to address the three pillars of the Catalyst Way. So, if you're not familiar with the three pillars, pillar number one is know yourself, which answers the question, who am I here to be? Pillar number two is serve profoundly. What am I here to do? And then pillar number three is find your right pond. Where am I here to go? So what we're going to do is we actually have a set of questions to address each of the different pillars. And they're very reflective, very deep questions. So what we're going to do, I'm going to share the three questions under Know Yourself with Ivor. And then we're just gonna see where the conversation goes, whichever question we decide to go and see where the conversation goes. How's that sound?
All right,
All right,
let's go for it.
so the three questions, they actually have a little short statement before. So question number one is called the fork in the road. Look back at your most significant fork in the road, a moment when you chose the path of courage slash vulnerability or the path of comfort, which is safety. What truth did that choice ultimately reveal about your deepest value? So that's number one. Number two, the shadow's persistence. What is the most persistent negative attitude, behavior, belief, or fear that has followed you through every major transition of your life? And how did it most recently sabotage your authentic potential? That's number two. And number three is the essence check. Across all the roles and titles you've held, such as parent, student, leader, friend, what is the single unchanging contribution that defines you when you felt most authentically alive and in the alignment with your best self? So those are the three questions under pillar number one. Where do you want to go? Which one
Don't.
resonates with you more?
Uh, Very thought provoking and very deep questions. I don't know that one particularly resonates more than any of the others, but if I had to pick one, I would probably go with question three.
Okay. So,
I would take that one.
so how would you answer it?
Uh, it's the coaching aspect for me.
hmm So your
I
role as a
think,
coach.
right, across all of the the roles that I play, whether it's as a parent, as a brother, uh, an uncle, a son, trainer. I think everything for me, when I think about my most authentic self, has always come back to me being able to, in some capacity, offer a listening ear, advice, some type of valuable contribution by way of coaching. So that sticks out the most to me. That's as simply and as succinctly as I can answer that one question. But that's where it goes for me. I can see where I've always been allowed to be a coach in all of those areas. I do tie that back to the spiritual aspect. And I say that because as a faith-based person, I happen to think that I have the best coach in the world. And that's just where it goes for me. Through a lot of different scenarios and situations, I think God has shown me exactly what a good coach looks like. That, yeah, you're going to mess up on plays, and I'm still going to put you in the game. Like, you are probably going to turn this upside down but I'm still putting you back in next week because we got to go again. And that helps me with where I go with it.
So that's interesting because I wasn't going to choose number three.
Okay.
So I was actually look at the first one, the fork in the road,
All right.
especially since I've had so many forks in the road lately, especially with my health, job related and health related. Um, and the path of courage, so I think about the path of comfort. And I've even right now, when we've had these conversations about turning this into a business, I'm still in the path of comfort. Like I'm the courage part, thinking about doing this work and taking it to another level. It's like I'm happy. I'm content. Let me make my tools, let me do a few workshops here or there, and I'm good. And even this morning, you challenged me like, think bigger. What is it that you really want? And when you think about, I really would love for our work to take off so that's not me necessarily making more money, but it's the work making more money so that we could support more people doing the work.
Correct.
Um, but I like my comfort. And it's like, I don't want to go out. I don't want to stretch. I don't want to do that. Um, but I also know that when I look at my deepest value, purpose and meaning, and in personal growth and learning. And if I actually am going to live my deepest values, the only way I grow is stepping out of my comfort zone. So it's like, you need to get out of your comfort zone, but it's like, I don't want to because it's like, it's what it is. It's comfortable. I don't want to put myself on the spot. I'm just kind of like, nope, I'm good. I wake up in the morning, I could do my little short workout, I do my little meetings, and I'm good. But am I really growing? Am I really becoming a better version of myself? Staying in this place? And we both know the answer is no. So just thinking about how this work would take off is really making me think I have to get over this comfort and really say, you know what, now it's time to really engage and invest in this, in what we're doing for 2026 and
Oh,
stop just being a little fly in the wall.
and you're not alone there, right? It's you, it's me, it's millions of people, right, all around the world who are we're we're good at what we do, and we're doing it, and there's a measure of success that comes along with it, and we are in our purpose. But then there's that place where, okay, how do I stretch myself within my calling? How do I stretch myself within doing what I know I'm here to do? Right? Because after all, knowing that you are working in what you are here to do is an amazing achievement in and of itself. And when you're in that and you're helping others with that, and you are good with what you're doing, then I don't think it becomes really difficult to reach that place of, yeah, I'm comfortable, I'm good, and I can do what's next because it doesn't necessarily come hard for me. But now here's that stretching, right? It's now I'm outside of my comfort zone. Now you're asking me to do what in this area of the business I haven't necessarily done before. But
Well,
I like
okay.
what I'm doing.
Yeah, and you think about money, like one of my top 10 values is financial stability and security. And I've always been driven to achieve financial stability. And Rebecca and I are finally there. And it's like, well, I don't need to do anything. Like, what else do I need to do? Like, so for example, I watch this guy. His name is he has a channel, The Golf Ball Addict. And one of my neighbors and I, we both follow him. And we buy golf balls based on, some of his videos. And today he wrote a video, guys, guess what? Dick's Sporting Goods has a sale on this golf ball, and it's the ball I use. And it's gone from 24.99 a dozen to 9.99 a dozen. If you love this ball, go get it. So I'm like, yeah. And I bought 12 dozen golf balls. Like, who uses 12 dozen golf balls? But I know that I don't have to worry about doing it. I could just do it. And for me, that's the whole financial stability. But what I'll end up doing is say, but what if I decide I wanted to give these out for gifts? Like I actually bought 12 dozen knowing that I can give six of them
Sure.
as gifts.
Right.
So with the work, I keep giving more tools, giving more stuff, but am I or are we really being the models to step out of our comfort zone and really deliver it the way it needs to be delivered? And
Well,
the answer
it's
to that's
taken
no. Go ahead.
it's taken your example and just flipping it on its head, right? So now it's how do we ensure that everyone that comes in contact with us experiences that same feeling in whatever area it may be? How do we ensure that they now are living their lives in a place where they get to purchase their own set of golf balls or whatever else they choose to make that purchase and then give them away as gifts to whomever else they choose to give them to, right? So it really is, how do we ensure that they level up in all of those areas of their life the way that we have attained to or aspire to, so that they can achieve success along all those platforms?
There, now, I will say there is a difference between you and I and most of the others. And that is we do know ourselves pretty well. Even though, we're comfortable, but we know, like, we know why we were put on this earth. We know our values. We're very clear about who we are and what we're here to do. And I think there's a lot of people who they don't know themselves well.
Right?
And for them to take a jump, it would be hard for them to take the jump if they don't know themselves first.
Which is why going through the pillars matters, right? It's why the first pillar of the three is know yourself, and why we go through these questions and why we try to unearth exactly what's going on inside of you, right? Because all of that filters over into everything else.
Mhm.
It's why we start there.
And we didn't even talk about the shadow because that was question number two. And I think the shadow has come out in this conversation. Um, and I will say, the biggest shadow for years for me, well, there were two. So I always feared success because when you are successful, then it raises the stakes.
Mm-hmm.
And was I willing to put myself out there if the stakes were higher? And for the longest time, the answer was no. Like one of my biggest dreams was to be on Oprah. I always wanted to be on Oprah's show and not in the seats watching Oprah. Like I wanted to be interviewed by Oprah. And for the longest time, so to make a long story short, I got a ask. So there was a chance for me to go on Oprah, go to the show, and I didn't go because I had to do a presentation at this conference. And I'm like, well, I can't because I got to do this presentation. And people were like, are you crazy? Go on Oprah, bag the presentation. But I'm like, no, because if I go on Oprah, and if you go on Oprah, everything you do turns to magic. And there's that heightened expectation. I'm like, no, no, I don't want to do that. I even wonder now, if I had a chance to go on like Soul Sunday with Oprah, would I actually do it? I think I might have to let you go.
I would go.
Yeah, you would go because I
I
think
would go.
you would have the fun, deep conversation. I wonder if I would. I mean, I probably would, but I know you would go, and I think it would be a much more fruitful conversation, to be honest.
I mean, I understand the heightened expectation that comes along with that. Uh, but I also think again, it's not a bad place to be in terms of the way it would push you along, right? Because yeah, you're right. I think there's that fear of success now is, well, I've got people who are relying on me, right? They're depending on me. They're looking at me differently, and now what's next? Like now that this has happened, where do I go from here?
Right.
And I'm looking for a way to make sure that happens because now there is no more. You talked about doing the shadow work. Something like that doesn't let you hide in the shadows, right? You can't do it anymore. So that's where you now have to. It is a step up your game moment.
Yeah, no, no, I don't want to. No. And there are people who've compared this work to Tony Robbins, and I look at Tony Robbins and I watch what he's going through in his life, and I'm like, I don't want that. That's too much for me. I don't want to be on a stage with 2,500 people doing what he does. I like our little, you know, 10, 15, 20, 25 people in our workshop, and we hang out for 3 days. That's my sweet spot. I don't need to be, although I have been on a stage where I've had 400 and 500 people. Um, and it has, it gets me going for a while, but then I crash. And I don't want to go through that roller coaster. I just want to kind of be in this steady state where everything's good. So, so this is a learning process, but now it's in a different level of a learning process.
Yes.
And if my value in my top, if my number three value is personal growth and learning, I got to embrace this and see where it takes us. So I'm glad we decided to talk this way, this one. This was really good.
Knowing yourself isn't just the pillar that supports the work or one of the three pillars. Knowing yourself is also something that, as the work continues, we get to share our continual progress because I don't think you ever fully arrive when it comes to that. We're constantly on that learning curve when it comes to knowing yourself. Like we keep doing that with every conversation, with every workshop, that we don't just stay where we are. Well, I did the knowing yourself activity 3 years ago, so I'm good. No, it's always, there's always another layer that gets peeled back and you get to know yourself at a deeper level. And I think that's where all of the magic really happens.
Yep. So, so this was very enlightening. So thank you for partaking me in this little test of an exercise.
Absolutely.
So any final thoughts before we call it a day?
If you are stuck in any area of your life, if you don't know why you're here, you don't know what you're here to do, and you don't know where you're here to go, we can help with that. So come join us.
Join us, please. All right. Well, if there's nothing else, I'd say let's call it a day and we'll see you on the next episode. Have a great
All right.
day.
Bye for now.
Bye.